welcome to my channel. My name is Max, and today I'll be talking about how I passed my CompTIA Security Plus SY0-501. So to get started, first things first, the main thing will be to get this book right here. This book is really important. If you want to pass your exam, this book is a must-have. There's a lot of information on here, so I'll recommend reading this book cover to cover. Learn the vocabs, learn the way the questions are wording. And also, if you look in the back of the book, all of these right here are on the test. All these bullet points, they're on the test. So get yourself familiar with this book. And if you use this, you'll definitely pass your test. Also, for anyone that's in IT, you should know who Professor Messer is. He has a lot of stuff on YouTube, and he also has a lot of courses on Udemy. So for whichever certifications you're taking, definitely get some of his materials. And as for the test, what I did was I went online, find the exam objectives, and I went and underlined everything as I'm studying. I made flashcards. And also, for anyone that's studying IT, especially when it comes to certifications, you know it's time consuming because there are times there where you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that because you're studying, doing labs. And as CompTIA certifications, their exams are really wordy. The questions are worded differently and kind of weird, so you want to make sure you get familiar with that. And for the Security Plus, some of the tips that I have will be, don't only use these right here, have multiple resources. So Udemy, just go on Google. If you put CompTIA practice questions, go over these, do a lot of reading, and also do some simulation questions because those are on the test. What I did was for the simulation questions, I didn't start with those first. I skipped those and I went to the multiple choice questions, and after that I had time left to go back to my simulations questions. And also, read the questions carefully. Take your time. I think you have about an hour and 70 minutes or so, but I'm not exactly 100% certain on the time frame, but I know it's a lot of time. If you study, you should have enough time to go back and do the questions that you didn't do. And also, I feel like CompTIA focuses a lot on port numbers. So for anyone that's familiar with the port numbers, especially the well-known ports, they focus a lot on those, so make sure you know those. And also make sure you know some of the security terms as well, because those do come a lot on the test. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where people are talking about that you can pass this exam in a week or 2 weeks, which is fine. But then again, there are people that are passing these exams but they don't know anything. So for anyone that's transferring into IT or new to the field, I will not recommend doing that, because when you go for a job interview or you start a new position, you want to make sure that you can answer the questions you get asked in the interview, or you can do the job. Because if you have the cert and you don't know anything, that will shorten the job interview. I remember when I first got into IT, I went to a job interview and they asked me what an IP address was. I didn't know what it was. That's when I was first starting. So a lot of people that use that pass their certification in a week or two, they didn't do enough studying, or they use brain dumps or exam dumps. And that's also another thing. Do not use any exam dumps, because they do monitor that, because the questions, especially if you're getting the same type of questions right that are on your exam dumps, CompTIA can tell that you did not study for your exam. So, and as for this book, I went and underlined all the stuff that I feel like I need help on, or something I didn't know. I highlight it and I take notes. I write it on the flashcards, and I went back and look it up, study it, read it again a second time to get a better understanding of what it's talking about. And as for Professor Messer's course notes, these are breaking down into smaller chunks and bits, which is really helpful whenever I have a 30-minute break at lunch, at work or I'm not doing anything, I'll just read a page of this like every night before bed, and that should be enough for me to remember a lot of the stuff on the exam. And this other part is more for people that's breaking into the IT industry. For someone that's been in the industry for a while with over 6 years experience, I would recommend getting the A+ or the Network Plus. Even if you do not sit for the exam, at least learn the basic fundamental stuff, because there are certain questions on the Security Plus that if you do not have the basic fundamentals, you might get those questions wrong. So it's good to at least get some knowledge of the basic stuff, because I've met people in the industry that have years of experience and they still don't know what a PCIe slot or port is, and they can't even tell you the well-known port numbers, and that's a red flag. And also, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I've got my Security Plus certification right here. And for anyone that's wondering, once you pass, they'll send you this, which has your certificate right here and a little kind of like a driver's license type thing that says you CompTIA certified, and you get this big paper right here. So that's pretty much it. And this is my first certifications that I got earlier this year during COVID. I was at home not doing anything, so I was like, you know what, let me go for a couple certifications. And right now I'm still in school getting my BS in cybersecurity, so I'm looking to get more certifications along the way. And my next certification in my bucket list will be the CISSP, and eventually getting my CEH, and go from there to build up my cybersecurity career. So for anyone that's looking to pass this exam, I'll add some links to my notes. I have some notes on my Google Drive, and also some links to where you can get this book, and also some of the Udemy courses. These courses are like $10, which should be really cheap if you're looking to invest in your career. So that's all I have for today, and I'll be adding new videos weekly of what I'll be doing in school and how is that going and so forth. So thank you for stopping by, and like and subscribe below.